Welcome to this podcast in which Thabo Makgoba, Archbishop of Cape Town, shares his personal narrative and his view on Indaba in the context of water and sanitation. This podcast was recorded during a roundtable at Bishopscourt, Cape Town, with representatives from governments, water authorities, religions, NGOs and universities from both South Africa and the Netherlands. Please, Archbishop Thabo Makgoba.
I come from Makgoba's Kloof, a beautiful part of this country. And then in Cape Town, they always remind me that in Makgoba's Kloof you don't have the sea. But I tell the people in Cape Town that we have the Indaba River. So it makes up for the sea. And we've got water, we've got rain, we've got mist, we've got beautiful mountains, and we've got timber. And around 1895, and just before that, gold was discovered in a tiny place called Heinesberg. It's a German name, and it created havoc for my clan and the people of Makgoba's Kloof because the Swiss missionaries and the others started levying tax on the Makhobas and the locals, and then we were pushed out of the village to an extent that my great-granddad was beheaded and the land was taken as part of those wars of displacement. But it still doesn't make Makgoba's Kloof what I call a bloody place where people are so angry and want to revenge. Its beauty still shines. Makgoba's Kloof Dam and the river are still there. So water and the aesthetics of God's creation still appeal to my heart. And even if things are tough, I look at a picture of Makgoba's Kloof and I become healed. And those that know me around the table, they know that their family made it possible for me to have a small piece of land there that when I retire in Cape Town, not so long, in 3.5 years' time, Prof, I will return to Makgoba's Kloof, and I've written in my will that I would like to be buried in that beautiful, beautiful place. And but the beauty about it, as I said, is just it's water, it's mountains, it's vegetation, and with that picture, my father, after the displacement, was pushed to a place in Alexander Township. And the only river there was the Joske River. Alexander Township, even today, is a place, it was called the Dark City. It's a place of squalor, a lot of gangsters. And I grew up, if I contrast it with Makgoba's Kloof, there where you thank God that you are alive the next day. We could walk past dead dogs, dead people, so it was very tough, and we didn't have proper sanitation. Even in Makgoba, we went to the mountains, but in Alex, there was the pits, not pit latrine, but the bucket system. And so the bucket system stayed with me. And then when we were acclimatizing to that squalor, to that danger, to the bucket system that does not work, in 1974, the family was forcibly removed to Pimville. In Pimville, we had a flushing toilet, but Pimville was very small and the flushing toilet was outside. And so that became a constancy, that water and sanitation were the real issues. At school, we had 6 toilets for boys and 7 toilets for girls, for a school of plus or minus 300 kids. So at playtime, it was very tough. And should the principal see the boys behind the toilet passing urine, you're going to be punished. So right from my childhood, the issues of water and sanitation, as you can hear from my narrative, became very important. Now, when I got to briefly to Grahamstown as the Bishop of Grahamstown, and not so long ago, lo and behold, Grahamstown Township still had the bucket system. And when I challenged the people there, I was told that, Archbishop, you stay in Bishopscourt with 4 toilets. So please, you're not the right person to speak for the poor. But scripture says, if I don't speak, the stones will speak. And I came to Cape Town, and then there was that sad agreement of the city and the Makaza people. And when I raise that, they say I'm speaking politics, but God is God of all or not God at all. And I would like either Matlotlo Kutabisi or Reverend Abigail to go to my office and get a picture of the queue and the toilet interventions. And so we worked with the City of Cape Town. It wasn't easy, and the Social Justice Coalition, to say it is inhumane for a good agreement that was reached that the people will be provided with flushing toilets, but the toilets won't be covered. I know that was an agreement, but it created pain, created havoc, and we had to engage the city, we had to engage the Human Rights Commission, we had to engage the people. And engagement is very important. This is where I'm going to go in terms of Indaba. Engagement is very important because after that engagement, after the picketing, after the long queues and the city chambers, there was a janitorial compact between the community and the city in terms of how we can deal with some of those water and sanitation issues. And I was so proud that after that struggle, there was a janitorial compact. But as we know, the struggle is far from over of water and sanitation. And rather than being confrontational and naming that the city is wrong, or the government is wrong, or the people are wrong, or a particular political party is wrong, I don't think that will take us anywhere. What is important is to sit like you are doing now around the table to say, we are gifted. What can we do together in order to make the Lord of the poorest of the poor who do not have water and proper sanitation better? Those girls who are afraid to go and get water just outside their home because they will be raped to go and get the basic thing. They will be abducted when they have to go to the bathrooms. What can we do together to explore ways of getting rid of the sanitation issues? Technology has advanced. Do we still need to be flushing? What can we do about that? And so Indaba was the process that I suggested to the Anglican Communion in 2008 when we were fighting about sex as the church. You know, when the church talks about sex, they can fight and do all sorts of things. So we were disagreeing about the issues of sexuality. And, if we had spent more time on education and sanitation as the Anglican Church, we would have changed this world. But nonetheless, we were fighting. Some people are saying same-sex unions are wrong, and all those. I won't take you into the theological issues then. And then people wanted a resolution to say once and for all, we need to solve this thing within the Anglican Communion. But we were talking past each other. And so we propose Indaba, which for me is not a new thing. When we go to Makgoba's Kloof if we have to rename Makgoba, which is a corrupt spelling of Makgoba's Kloof in Afrikaans, and we want to make it Makgoba's Kloof. You consult the people, you talk to the people, talk to the relevant people, you listen to them, you build trust, and you have a purposeful engagement with them, and you agree to disagree on certain things, but you know that you're working towards a particular goal, and the goal may not please you, may not please them, but at least it's a first step towards the creation of a solution. And so we created an Indaba. We said to the Anglican communion, please stop this resolution-making Western concept. Create teams of people like you are without an agenda. You know, within the Anglican Church, or with those that want to push what the American Church is saying, or what the Australian Church is saying, what the English Church is saying, and then we in the Global South will say we want to push this. We said, put those heads aside and now focus on how do you all talk and move forward and create a solution. And so it is my hope and prayer that today you will robustly engage, you will listen to each other, and your main aim is you will try to build trust, and you will build the values that says all God's people matter. Not only that have the means, all God's people matter. It does not matter whether you stay in a shack or whether you stay in Bishopscourt. Your vocation is how do you serve the common good? How do you make this world better than how you found it? How do you do something bigger than yourself? And so Indaba in Sizulu is the news, but more than the highlights, the bulletin, Indaba means now the news that has been co-created by those within the village, but that are characterized by certain values that you have all worked around and have more or less agreed. And those values will serve the common good. They'll serve the village. And so with that, Prof, I hope I have not confused you. I hope I have shared my heart. I've got something that was written here, but I've put it aside, and I wanted to share what is in my heart and my journey and what my wish are for such an auspicious team around the boardroom table. So God indeed bless you as you reflect, and I hope that none of you, like Martin Luther King Jr., will be killed for raising the basics of what God's people need. But it takes that courage and it takes that determination to serve God's people in this basic. We won't be fighting for oil and gas in the years to come. I tell you, the greatest war come around water and sanitation. I'm not being a prophet of doom, but I think all I'm saying is we need to look Cape Town, look after those aquifers. We need to look at how we desalinate. We need to look at how we make water a gift from God for all God's people.